My name is Gregory Burns. I'm an American, California-based artist who's been living in Asia the last 30 years. I paint, I write, I speak in front of large audiences, and I've been known to swim in the Paralympics and do some Ironman events. When I was about 5 years old, I used to get comic books, and I realized that instead of buying comic books, I could make my own comics. So I started to draw my own comic characters and cartoons. And that's how I started. And then I went into still life and had painting classes, and so. But it started when I was 5 or 6 living in Paris. I like painting as opposed to photography because I'm a very physical person, and as an athlete I like movement, I like mobility, as opposed to a camera, which is pretty much click, whereas painting it's almost like a sport in some ways, and I like the physicality of painting. I've been painting since I was 6, so I've had different themes throughout my life. I would say more recently themes have revolved around traveling, so the idea of traveling to places to find myself, find peace, find beauty, find nature, find sacred sites. So I think a lot of what I do now has to do with traveling, has to do with mobility, has to do with internal searches and trying to make the best of what I have. So my dad was in the Foreign Service, and when we were 1 year old, we were living in Jerusalem in Israel, and I contracted polio. My legs don't work very well, so I ambulate with braces and crutches. I think the disability, if you want to call it that, encouraged me or prompted me to cherish mobility, find direction. I find my direction in motion, or in motion I find my direction. So while I'm moving, while I'm making some progress, I can find and I can know where to go next. Any challenge that anybody has, which we all have, let's be honest, my physical challenge you can see, but other people everybody has challenges and you can't always see them. So I'd say anything that affects us deeply, as my disability has affected me, has affected my artwork. Again, I think the mobility issue, like for me to climb a flight of stairs is a little more challenging than you because I have to use my arms. So it's for me, a staircase represents a challenge. It represents some kind of an obstacle that you or I have overcome. So I think that's, my whole life has affected what I paint, and of course my disability is part of that. We've all got challenges, whether they're physical, mental, you could even say spiritual challenges. We all face things that get in our way that we have to get over or get through. I think we all have highs and lows, and of course highs are wonderful. We all want to be high all the time, but we can't because we have lows. And that's okay because those lows kind of balance out the highs. So if you think about it, we're always trying to get to a high and or a happy place or a content place, and that's cool, but there are times when we're not going to be there. And what I've found is that when there are times when I'm low, the only real way to get out of that low is to take like a small step, very small step, out or up or forward. So trying to get out of the low one small step at a time, to realize that it might just be taking out the trash. It might just be getting into the swimming pool and swimming 100 meters or 500 meters. It might be just going to the studio, cleaning my paintbrushes, or unrolling a canvas and putting it on the floor, or putting a background, or just do something, some little thing that I know I can do that doesn't take the world for me to accomplish. I think it's those little victories that eventually add up to saying, oh, I'm out of my funk, or I'm out of my challenge right now. So it's divide and conquer, like Napoleon, Little guy, divide and conquer. Hi, I'm Gregory Burns, and you can find me in my studio or on www.gregoryburns.com.